And the myth, the legend. How you doing, baby? You doing good?
I'm good, man. I'm good. My time caught up on me. I'm working on this photo wall here. We got a new backdrop coming in, so next time it'll be done. But we got some magic here happening.
Okay, good. That's it. You gotta have some kind of presentation, back there. That's very, very important. The question is, will Teron Armstead be presenting the Miami Dolphins at left tackle on Sunday?
I don't think so, Big O. I think Mike McDaniel pretty much said they're going to try to save him from himself and maybe keep him out this game. He didn't say those words exactly, but I'm not sure if Armstead will practice today. They're about to get on the field real soon. And then, Armstead might travel with the team on Saturday, so they don't have to put out a report that he's not traveling. But I'd imagine that he doesn't play and they hold him out, kind of like we saw the Chiefs do with Travis Kelce last night. Look, it's going to be a long season, man. It's going to be a really long season. Teron Armstead's the guy that you don't want on your team to be hurt all the time, playing hurt all the time, and he did that last year. Because it's going to be such a long year, why put him out there at 60, 70 right now if that's where he's at, maybe more, maybe less. And he's going to get a treatment on everything kind of going forward too. So I would hold him out if Teron's ready week 2, if Teron's ready week 3, have him when he's ready. Don't have him when he's not at 100%. That's what I would do.
I'm with you. You know why? Because you're only going to make things worse, and then the lingering will be worse, and then the poor man is doing what he did last year, where he's carrying 8 injuries all throughout, and he's like, okay, I'll play in the playoff game, and I've got 800 injuries, and he was marvelous, by the way, in the playoff game, even all injured. I'm with you. Since he is so injury prone, you need to try to at least give him a chance to start the season at one point as close to 100 instead of starting the season at 70 and taking a beating, and it's only going to get worse from there. It's not going to get any better. So I'm with you. I think you protect him from himself and you protect the team. The question is, what is your confidence level of Kendall Lamb up against Khalil Mack?
I haven't seen much of Kendall Lamb, and actually, I've seen a lot more of Khalil Mack, a lot more of Joey Bosa. So that should let you know how comfortable I feel about this one. But this is
Kendall Lamb's preseason and training camp have been good. So what did you see there?
Yeah, definitely. Look, you see a guy obviously trying to work really hard for a position. He has an opportunity because Teron went down. You got a guy that's taking all the snaps in practice, which is what you want. It'd be a different story if he was not taking all the snaps and then he had to play. You got somebody that actually has an idea of what they want to do offensively. And maybe in the last couple of weeks, you created some continuity on that line with Lamb and who's the left tackle? His name is skipping me here.
Isaiah.
Yeah, Isaiah Wynn. We'll see how Austin Jackson does at right tackle. And if I'm the Dolphins, I'm running behind Robert Hunt the whole game if I have to make a run, to be very honest with you. But look, yeah, this offensive line has been together since the Houston week, right? So they were in the preseason for Houston, and we saw how they ran the ball against not just Houston, but the second preseason, the Jaguars. Yeah, so look, Mike McDaniel's offense, the zone running scheme, meaning that offensive linemen kind of get to a certain point and they're taking linemen with them, and you're hoping these guys can hold on to a guy for extended amount of time so that guys like Raheem Mostert and Devin Achane can hit the hole. And I really think if they get a carry inside the 3-yard line, Chris Brooks is going to come in with Allen Ingold, and I'm going to coin it right now. Brooks and Ingold feels like a law firm waiting to happen. I think Chris Brooks gets some carries in this game, week 1, just because he's a bigger guy. And I think Tua, Jalen Waddle, Tyreek, they're going to have to maybe speed up a little bit of what they're doing timing-wise because of the fact that Armstead's not there. You don't get that extra second or 2 seconds. In some instances, it might be a little bit of a millisecond,
Yeah.
So I think their timing. I just hope the Dolphins settle down really quickly when this game starts. How every game starts and it's really jittery at first. Even Tua admitted that part. This is a big game for Tua. This is a huge game for Tua. Not only are you going up against Herbert again, you're going up for the first time since we saw you last Christmas. So it's a lot riding on this game for the Dolphins. Mike McDaniel's going up against Brandon Staley as well. There's a lot of mini storylines here. that I wonder if the Dolphins are just have a little bit too much going on going into this game, or they just have just enough and they're just going to focus on what they need to do and get out of here.
If I put you in Vegas and I said you've got to bet the over and under here,
Okay.
Dolphins 27 carries as a team, over or under?
Under. I think you still want Tua to throw the ball a decent amount. Guys like Tyreek could be like, what the hell am I blocking here for, man? Give me the ball. So I think 20 is a good number to try to get at. And remember, the possessions are really low. The Dolphins might have 7, 8 possessions in this game. If they're lucky, they get 10 to 12 to really make something happen. If they have some plays where, Tua finds Waddle, he breaks a 75-yard touchdown, and you speed up the game that way and get some more possessions that way, I can definitely see some more carries maybe later on in the game. I'd say under 27 carries if you had to put me in Vegas right now.
Yeah, and the only, but you don't think the 2000 thing, because I think they're going to run, because you've added Barrios. That 2,000-yard stuff with Tyreek is silliness. There's no shot it happens unless everybody's injured and he's the only one out there and you got to throw it to him. But if everybody's healthy and they are going to dedicate themselves to the run, and you've added Braxton Berrios, I don't. There's no 2,000 yards in your future.
Yeah.
In fact, he doesn't get more yards than he got last year. Put it that way.
Well, he had 1,700 yards last year. I definitely
That's
think
right.
he can get close to it. Look, Tyreek likes to say things to get a reaction out of people. He's patented. That's a patented move by him. He loves doing things like that. He's been on the record saying he does that. It's a great conversation starter. Sure. I had a funny interaction with Jalen Waddle this week too, because somebody asked him about the 2K Tyreek, and he's like, "Yeah, support it." Great answer. And I walked over when everybody walked away. I was like, if Tyreek got 2,000 yards, you're gonna be on the other side of the field. Like, what the hell, man? Throw me the
Yeah.
ball. You know what I'm saying? So I think Tyreek just says things to say things. It's a nice distraction or something for media, a nice little question or whatever. But Tyreek's not touching 200. If Tyreek was the only receiver on this team and there was no Jalen Waddle, sure.
Okay.
But even look, they had 1,700. Tyreek had 1,700 last year, and Waddle had 1,400. So you give me 3,100 yards between those guys, I'll take it.
Oh yeah.
And they're
Please. Are
both
you
in the
kidding
top
me?
10. They
Yeah.
both were in the top 10.
I just think they have something they didn't have last year. They have an impact third wide receiver. They have a guy that fills a role that they did not have last year. And I just think this is one of those crafty dudes that knows how to find a hole in the defense. And because Tua is so smart, I think he's going to take advantage of that. And I think is it Linus, the one with the towel and the peanuts? Is it Linus? It is Linus. Well, that Tua will be Linus, and his towel is going to be Barrios.
I could
Seriously,
see it. I could
yeah,
see it. Everybody behind Tyreek and Jalen are kind of like what you have with the Chiefs, just a bunch of guys you don't really know what you can get out of. But
not
if
that
I
guy.
can get those guys, no, Barrios is good. But if I can get those guys in certain spots and they can catch the ball for me when I need them to, and not be, not need to be in a rhythm because you're not going to get that many targets, and you can make a play for me on 3rd and 3, or you can make a play for me on 2nd and 8, so we can move the chains up a little bit. Sure, I think a lot of guys fill that role. It's not just Barrios. I think Azukama is going to have some plays where he's running the ball like
Yeah,
Debo Samuel because you got Mike McDaniel as the coach. What we'll see
but you
if
believe Barrios will be the guy, right? The main third guy out of that group. Yeah, I get you. Situationally, you're going to use Ezukama
sure,
for his size, run some an end around or something like. I get that he has a role, but
yeah.
Barrios is the guy to be your slot guy, right?
I think
That's
I
what
think Barrios is the guy. I think Cedric Wilson could be the guy. I think he could get some more targets this year. Cedric Wilson catches like 50% of everything that comes his way, which is pretty
true.
high for a clip.
He's a good receiver.
He's a good receiver. I think they're going to move some guys around too. I would love to see Jalen and Tyreek take some plays out the slot as well, and have a guy like if not Cedric, or you call up Robbie Anderson for a game or something like that, like, and just play the X, so that you can move your best players around on the field and take advantage of some nickel corners, things like that. We've seen other teams in the NFL do this all the time. I expect the Dolphins to do the same as well. Look, you got two really star weapons here. You got to use them, and when you don't have your star offensive tackle protecting everything on the outside, you got to get the ball to those guys really, really quickly, especially if you're coming back from what you're coming back from last year.
Over and under for the Miami Dolphins team, 3 sacks.
Over.
Whoa.
I'll take an over on that. I'll take
Okay.
probably just probably 4. Not too
No,
far over.
four's pretty good. Four's pretty
Look,
good.
Phillips got after Justin Herbert a bunch last year. Phillips probably had 2, and I know a sack was taken away from him last year too. He can get into the mix. I like to see one from Chubb. I can definitely see a coverage sack. I can definitely see Javon Holland coming and taking down his old college teammate as well. Justin Herbert is a big guy, man. 6'6", right? 250,
Yeah.
260. Like, he's a big dude. Big arm, as we know. I think he's going to have some good protection as well. Rashawn Slater's obviously on that offensive line. Good player there. I could see 4. I could see over 3. But yeah, I think this Dolphins defense, you know what really stuck out to me last night about the game, if you want to talk about the game last night too. There's a lot of continuity with that Lions team, and that made me think of the Dolphins, and that everybody in this defense, even though they're playing a new scheme, they played together for so long. They played together for so long that those guys are going to know certain positions, certain times in the game where they need to go make a play or need to rely on each other, and it's going to work out in their favor versus a team that doesn't have that continuity or new players coming in and out, young
I
players.
like that.
You know, I think that's going to help the Dolphins in this game, even though it's a scheme that they're going to play for the first time.
Yeah, and I think like a guy like AVG is gonna benefit from Fangio. I think Andrew Van Ginkel is going to have the best season he's had in his short career so far, because I think he's going to be put in positions that he hasn't been put in enough in the past. I think he's one of those under the radar guys that Miami hasn't used enough. A guy like Jalen Phillips, I think, is going to is set to break out. I think Javon Holland's going to have a monster year in this defense, because this is the kind of defense that keeps everything in front. And so Holland playing that center field spot, I think, is going to have a monster year. The question I would ask you is Brandon Jones, Deshaun Elliott. How is that other safety spot going to be handled, Safid Deen?
Yeah, guys are going to have to come back and get healthy. You're going to add Nick Needham into that mix too, although he doesn't play safety, he plays nickel. These guys are going to come back at certain points. I don't think Brandon Jones might be too ready for week 1. His first couple times out there on the practice fields weren't that encouraging because of the fact that he's coming back from a serious injury. But I do think Brandon Jones, when he was really good, he was really good. I believe that was before he got hurt, and even his first season too. Brandon Jones is a little bit of Swiss Army knife. You can have him blitz, you can have him stay back, you can have him be in the box a little bit. It's kind of
better, and he got better in coverage last year. I was really proud of him, because that was like the chink in his armor, as they say, and he started to really show improvement in coverage, and I thought that was really cool. I felt terrible for him when he got the knee injury, because he was making progress, man.
Yeah, he was playing really well. He was playing really, really well.
Yeah, I love him in all the areas, run game, blitzing. He's a fantastic player in that sense, but the coverage part was the one that he had to add. And it's good that he got better, because you got to be elite in coverage in this defense. If
Yes, you
you're a
do.
linebacker, if you're a safety, you need to know how to cover. Obviously, corners have to do it, but in the other positions, Fangio kind of demands it, that you've got to have some coverage skills in order to play, in that defense.
Yeah, I think Jones is going to play in spurts. I don't think he's fully healthy. He could get exposed in this game if at the wrong time. If Herbert wants to wind up and throw a deep one, I definitely can see that. This is a game they're definitely going to miss Ramsey in for sure. This is a game they're going to miss Armstead. They're going to figure out something in the back end of that secondary, because they know the Chargers are watching. They know the Chargers are going to attack them right then and there. The guys up front are going to have to come home. And that's really the way you're going to stop the Chargers. You got to make Justin Herbert uncomfortable. Make him feel your presence. Make that O-line feel your presence. Maybe Eckler gets off a couple plays, in the middle of the field or not too far away from the line of scrimmage, close by. But I think the Dolphins have a chance. I think they can definitely stop them. They just got to get really going on offense. I mean, the offense has to play really well.
Safid, what do you think when Fangio looks at the film last year? They lost by 6. Herbert threw a bunch of yards, but he didn't score, dude. He only threw for 1 touchdown. So they settled for a bunch of field goals. They could not punch the ball in. The defense actually, really, it was the offense that failed that game. The defense did more than enough for you to win that game. The offense was the real failure. So if you're Fangio, you've got a better defense. You're obviously a better defensive coordinator. What can he take from that game? Because that was an injury riddled team, also, especially in the secondary. What can he take from that game and say, I can use it in this one?
Yeah, to be honest, I couldn't tell you what exactly Fangio could take from that. All I know is that you have the players that have played together for so long already, right? You have Wilkins, you have Sealer, you have Raekwon Davis, you got all these edge rushers, Van Ginkel. You can get something out of Agba. Jalen Phillips, Bradley Chubb has got to be the one to really, really, ball out as well, because this is a scheme, like I've said before.
Damn right.
Jerome Baker, what he's going to offer you. You got something out of David Long. You're hoping he can tackle Eckler, in the open field when push comes to shove in that moment. Obviously Xavier's going to have a little bit of a time with Mike Williams. He did last year. Bigger receivers are going to give X some problems, sure. You're hoping Cater Kohu can stay toe-to-toe with Keenan Allen. If he's your cover guy, I would have him on Keenan Allen just because he's fast enough to stay with him. I'm sure Kohu might get beat a couple times, but he plays throughout the play. You know what I mean?
And he's athletic in the air too. That's what I like about Kohu.
I like Kohu a lot.
He's got ball skills and he's got body control in the air, which is very important. Not everybody does that. Kohu's got a lot of skill sets to play that position, dude. He really does.
I think Kohu's either going to be exposed or he's going to really show the Dolphins that they made a right move to put him in the lineup like this. I just hope that he's not playing a nickel. He needs to be on Keenan Allen in this game if you have X on Mike Williams, so Javon could kind of help out both sides, and whichever other safeties there can help.
As long as you're in base, but once you go to the nickel package, who's your best nickel?
Right? Yeah, and I'm not sure who the best third receiver is for the Chargers right now. I know they got a rookie.
Palmer. Josh Palmer
too, yeah. Those are some big guys, man. They have some bigger receivers, whereas the Dolphins are smaller on the back end. But we'll see. I think at the end of the day, this game is going to come down to big, heavy hitters. Going to come down to Eckler. Going to come down to Herbert, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. For the Dolphins, they know how to counter that. It's got to be their D-line. Wilkins has to, cause some havoc. Maybe get a sack or two so we can stack up that deal for next offseason for sure. But this one's on the offense for me, man. Mike McDaniel was really, really out-coached last time. They know they're going to try to take away the middle of the field going into this game. Maybe the Dolphins get some early success in the middle of the field and then they switch it up on them as an in-game adjustment, so to speak. But McDaniel has to either run the rock or get to it in some opportunities where 40 from the 30 he's launching and they're going to get some good plays.
All right, we wrap it up with this. What's the prediction? Who wins?
Man, without Armstead, I don't like it, man. I got Chargers 27-24. A close game for sure. I could definitely see the Dolphins pulling this one out too. If the Dolphins win this one, it'd be really big for me. It'd be a really big message. Everybody in the AFC saw what happened last night with the Chiefs and realized that, hey, we can probably go up 1-0 right now this week. Let's take it while we can.
Bro, that was Kadarius Toney, bro. Lions didn't win it. Pat Mahomes didn't lose it.
Lions won it.
Reed didn't lose it. Kadarius Toney was the entire difference in that game last night, bro. I hope that kid did not sleep 1 second last night. If he has any scruples, he walked the floor like a country song all night long, bro. Okay.
Well, look, I understand. Kadarius Toney also won the Super Bowl for them a couple months ago. Had a touchdown, had a huge kick return, and won the Super Bowl for them.
Janet Jackson.
Pat Mahomes' second ring.
Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately?
They just won the Super Bowl. Give him a couple weeks. He'll get ready. Kadarius Toney, I'm not quitting on him, man.
Oh no, I'm not saying
the guy won a Super Bowl for them. He had a bad game.
Dude, I'm a Kadarius Toney fan.
Okay.
I liked him coming out of the Gators. I thought he was a guy that you could get a little bit under the radar because of the injuries and all that. And his injuries have been the thing that has stopped him from really excelling. And then last night, my God, bro, you got to stay away from the boneheaded stuff.
Yeah, man. Three plays that he could have had that would have changed that game. That one third down play was bad.
Completely. And he gave him 7 points.
Yes,
so that's you lost by 1. You gave him freaking 7, dude. And Mahomes was, he wasn't the only guy. Sky Moore, a couple of guys dropped passes. Like, dude, Pat won that game yesterday.
Pat played really well
to win that game, dude. And it was just like, He's special, bro. God, he is special. Jesus,
Pat
he is
Pat
special.
is really great, man. It doesn't matter who you put out there with him, but it did last night. I'm glad they found somebody in Rice. Tony didn't play all training camp, man, because he was coming back from a knee injury, meniscus. Like if Ramsey was coming back the same way, same injury, he probably would have got caught on a play or two. You know, like there's something for continuity. He's going to come back and he's going to be better later on this season. I think this was a good wake up call for the Chiefs. Good, especially for all those other receivers, not named Tony as well. They're going to have to, get into a groove with Mahomes and know that if Mahomes is going to throw the ball to 7 different guys in the first half or first quarter alone, they're going to have to try to find a way to stay in some rhythm because players don't like doing that. Players like having, being ball dominant. They don't like spreading around and running and being kind of checked out. And when you have to check back in for a play and then you have a drop, it's because you didn't see the ball for 20 snaps. So the Chiefs will get it together. Obviously they will. And I think Detroit, NFC North favorite for me. I have that preseason. They look good. Dan Campbell already looks like Coach of the Year candidate, man. How can you not love that guy?
You got to love him. Yeah, you got to love him. And listen, I'm a guy that doesn't believe in the rah coach, and that's kind of the way I see him. And he's got a great opportunity this year to, stick it to me and say, you're wrong, dude. I'm a real coach. So I'm super impressed. By the way, was Chris Greer on the phone this morning with Kansas City? Hey, we got a guy, Cedric Wilson. You interested? You want? You want? He can catch a ball unlike Kadarius Toney.
I think the Chiefs should have called the Bucks and see what Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are doing.
Well, that's a lot more money.
They need
that's
it. That's
a lot more money, and that's a lot more picks.
They need it.
Though. Cedric Wilson pretty cheap, and he might be your number one receiver.
Sure. Make the Chiefs stronger while you got him nice and weak here. I don't think Chris Greer was doing that.
That's a good point on your part. That's a good point. Plus, he already gave him the bonus, right? So what the hell now at this point?
Only NFC teams are picking up the phone for Kansas City.
Exactly. All right. Follow him on Twitter at Safid_Deen. Catch his work there at USA Today. And he will be back with us on the post-game show on Sunday. Hopefully we'll be talking about that win over the Chargers. Safid, have a great day. Be safe in your travels as always. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you.
You have a good one, Big O.
You got it. There you go. The great Safid Deen and our BaptistHealth.net/ortho. Miami Dolphins report.
This is the Big O Show. This is the Big O Show.